Good evening and welcome to Vsb News Online for Tuesday, February the 10th. I'm Charles Webb. The Parliamentary Standing Committee on Public Accounts has decided to hold a public hearing on matters relating to public funding of the America's Cup and to hear testimony from the Permanent Secretary for Economic Development. The PAC is chaired at this time by Opposition Deputy Leader David Burt, who acts as Shadow Minister of Finance in Parliament. The committee numbers 5 MPs, 3 of whom are put forward by the government and 2 by the opposition. The hearing is scheduled for Thursday, February the 12th at 2:30 p.m. in the Senate chamber at the Cabinet Building and is open to the public, who are admitted to observe but not participate. The holding of the hearing has been publicized via a press notice under an official House of Assembly letterhead. Meanwhile, Sir Russell Coutts, director of the America's Cup Event Authority, was impressed by his visit to Dockyard during his current flying visit to Bermuda and to see the progress that is being made to host the event. He spoke to the press about it today, accompanied by ACBDA CEO Michael Winfield.
Well, I took a trip down to the Docklands a few days ago, actually. I have been to the island many times, but I've never actually driven around there before, so that was educational for me. And there's already work started on that. In fact, it was more progress than what I expected, which is a good thing. You know, I think I certainly have no doubt that the island will get the facilities ready on time and in many ways over-deliver in terms of being able to have those facilities available to the teams and so forth at an early stage. So I was impressed with the work that has already been done. Of course, it's only the start of the process. There's a tremendous amount that will be done, and you know, in many ways, that's the exciting part.
Just to be clear on specifics on that, as you are aware, Team Oracle have a planning application in. That is for the eastern end of the South Basin, which will be the permanent base of Oracle USA. We are also anticipating that another team, I don't know if you want to say which team it is, will have at least...
Said it.
You said it, have you? that Artemis will be here. They will begin with their AC-45 setup, while we get to work to prepare for a permanent base for Artemis as well. So it looks like by end of May, probably, we'll have 2 full teams operating out of Bermuda.
Yeah. In fact, some of you will see both Artemis's new AC-45 and Oracle Team USA's AC-45. They're actually shaking those boats down in San Francisco this month and before shipping here. So the plan is to, for those teams, is to put those boats in the water, iron out any obvious problems with them, and there are always teething problems when you put a boat that complex in the water for the first time. So they'll be going through that process. It's a short program, about 3 weeks of sailing, and then they ship all of the infrastructure here. And there's a considerable amount of infrastructure coming here. And that'll be here and starting to be constructed and established such that the team can be fully operational by the end of April.
Visitors are in for a positive experience when some 400 ambassadors on the front lines of the hospitality industry complete a National Service Standard program come April. The anticipated results are benefits for the visitor, the industry, the local economy, and the frontline worker. Executive Director of the Bermuda Hospitality Institute, Malika Musson, explains.
The 400 ambassadors that we're looking to have are already in the hospitality industry. So they've already shown a commitment to the industry by this is their career, this is what they're doing, and they are already out there with visitors, visitor facing. What we're looking to do is to enhance the experience that they're giving to our visitors, meaning that we want to increase the value that our visitors are getting. Everyone knows that the service standard in Bermuda is good. No one really complains about service in Bermuda, but the value for that service is what we're looking to increase with this program. So through that, we're trying to give a consistent message to everybody to know Bermuda's history, to know where to find different things, to know what's going on the island and where to look for different things, so that everyone has that consistent messaging, so that when a visitor is here and they feel like they're getting an extra value, it will translate into them perhaps spending more.
So the policeman that would be involved in the program, what specifically would he need to know to impart that information?
Well, everybody's going through the same program. So anyone who's coming through the program, be it someone on the police force, a bus driver, a ferry worker, someone who's in retail or the hotel industry, is getting all of the same messaging.
What about things like, say, folklore and food? Is that part of the equation?
Yes, it is. That's covered in the Blue Flag course, and it's also covered in the Tourism Ambassador course as well.
Tourism and Transport Minister Sean Crockwell went out of his way today to prove his assertion that much of what Shadow Transport Minister Lawrence Scott has alleged about the problems existing in the public transportation area are inaccurate. Vsb News' Brian Darby provides this statement.
The minister said that with respect to flooding in the men's room whenever it rained, he had been advised that this facility did experience damage from a leak that was repaired some time ago. However, while the leak no longer exists, the damage that resulted is in need of repair, which will be carried out by the Public Works Department. Additionally, in response to the allegation regarding a stench of sewage in the lunchroom, this odour emanates from the Tynes Bay Waste Treatment Facility and occurs infrequently when the winds are out of the northwest. The minister added that the issue with a worker falling through the restroom floor in the dockyard is in the process of being resolved, and a contractor has been identified to make the necessary repairs. Mr. Scott's allegation about 50% of buses being out of service is also inaccurate. There is a backlog of repair work, some of which requires time-consuming diagnostic work and assistance from the manufacturer's technical representatives who are currently on the island. Out of a fleet of 112 buses, there are currently 42 that are being serviced. However, it is important to stress that there has been very little disruption of service as a result. With respect to driver safety, Minister Crockwell stressed that driver safety is a main priority. There are currently 15 new buses with security cameras, and all future buses will be equipped with them. In addition, in 2012, the Omnibus Conduct Regulations were amended to broaden the offences for which charges could be laid against individuals who target public transport workers. The Minister concluded it is quite disturbing that the opposition MP, Mr. Lawrence Scott, once again has issued a statement that is largely inaccurate and has nothing constructive. He continues to offer commentary that is nothing more than an attempt at political point scoring. Brian Darby reporting for Vsb News.
And we'll be back with more news right after this.
The Marketplace Food Court is you and your family's one-stop shop. Start your day at the Breakfast Bar with omelets made to order and traditional Bermuda codfish breakfast. The chefs will cook lunch and dinner to your liking. Along with the salad bar, sandwich bar, sushi bar, and fruit bar, the Marketplace Food Court is your kitchen away from home. Every day is hassle-free with nutritious meals from the Marketplace Food Court. Visit us 7 days a week. Homemade cooking, quality service, all at prices you can count on.
The news about the final results of the 2014 tourism year may be gloomy, but in the opinion of Bill Henbury, the CEO of Bermuda Tourism Authority, Bermuda earns 2015, and there is every reason to be optimistic about the future. This was his message to the media on a conference call today.
We're adapting to a smaller tourism budget, and the fact that the government is not going to expend the kind of resources that they have in the past, so we are determined to be more efficient with our money and more impactful. We changed out a lot of things. We have a new social media firm, a new PR firm, new representation firms. We're just ready to announce a new ad agency that actually will reinforce the strategy that we've already built. They'll be the implementers of that strategy. And so we're well on our way. And I think, at the end of the day, although what I'm going to tell you about 2014 wasn't the brightest of years, I think the future looks very optimistic. For 2014, final numbers, air arrivals were down 5.1%. Cruise arrivals were up 4.7%. And then total air visitor spending was down 11%. Clearly not good news and not the news that we wanted, but it is the reality of where we are. To turn this around is not an easy proposition, but I assure you have a very dedicated group of people that are working through that. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. We own 2015. We believe that the marketing and sales strategies that we have put in place are taking root successfully, and investment process is going in the right direction. And we're aligning our product and our experiences with what the market wants, and I believe that's a very important step forward.
Some of the myths associated with Facebook were debunked today during a Hamilton Rotary lunch by information security professional Carlton Esquire. In a wide-ranging topic on data privacy, the Bermudian, who is stationed in London and retains worldwide clients, later told me that extreme caution should be used when putting information on social media.
An identity thief can take that information and create another person or another you, so to speak, in another country or in another culture. And you may be on a vacation one day and step off an airplane and you get pulled to the side and you know, it's, wow, you committed this crime. And then that's an interruption. You probably will be justified or be able to justify the fact that you didn't do it, but it's the inconvenience issue, okay? So to avoid that, folks should look hard at what they're putting out there in terms of their personal information. And then the second thing, too, is the friends. You have folks that have thousands of friends. But as I stated earlier, there has been legal arguments and legal judgments to say that your friends and their friends and their friends and their friends all along the way have direct access to your personal information. So it's something to think about.
When you hear people talking about emails and things like that, is there a better way that people could utilize emails and protect their privacy?
Well, again, it depends on what it is that you're sending. Don't send your personal information. That's the whole thing. And I want to hone in on what that personal information is. It's your full name, your date of birth. You know, that's stuff that the recipient does not really need to know, you know. Or you can use secure email. It depends on what it is that you're communicating. There isn't no magic mirror, so to speak. Okay, a lot depends on what that communication is, what the value of the information is to the individual that's sending it, and whether or not they trust the email system that they're using to secure it. Because you can have encrypted email as well. You can use encryption.
You are never too old to learn internet safety, and as Bermuda recognizes the first Internet Safety Day, a group of seniors converged on Summersfield Academy to get some insight into the realm of internet safety. Maria Baila and Jamie Smith explained the benefits derived by the seniors.
There are many scams and many traps that seniors can fall into, that we all fall into when we use the internet. And so when it comes to technology and the internet specifically, as we're all increasingly comfortable with it, we are making sure that they're equipped with the appropriate tools and the right information so that they can use the internet safely.
Did you find the seniors quite receptive?
Actually, we're quite impressed with the response that we've had so far. We're amazed at the number of attendees that have been able to show up, and yes, the response has been good.
We are here today representing the office to bring awareness to our office so that seniors can know we exist, so that they can know we are here to help them, to connect them to services and resources that they may need that are in the community. Our office is not teaching any basic lessons in the computer. There are people here that will be doing that. Our office has information regarding other areas such as power of attorney, finding a caregiver, what happens when you need a restroom, adaptive devices for those who have disabilities. Things of that nature is what we are assisting with here today.
And now it's time for the VSB Sports Report with Earl Baisden.
It's no secret that the America's Cup will be hosted in Bermuda in 2017. Russell Coots, the director of the America's Cup Event Authority, held a press conference this morning with the local media to explain the difference in the boats used during the entire America's Cup racing.
So the AC-45s, actually the front section of the boat and the back section of the boat come off them and they fit into a 40-foot container. So they all pack up. And that's the boat that's the boat that gets used around the world. So they get shipped, they start off, as I said, they're the boat that start off in Italy this year, go to Portsmouth in the UK, and then go to Gothenburg in Sweden, and then the fourth race is here in Bermuda. And there'll be a series of races in 2016 as well. Two of the races that we already know about that have already been contracted are the event in Chicago in June, and the event in Portsmouth again, where we're going back, and the other events are currently being negotiated or out to bid now for the 2016 series. So that's the standard AC-45 one design. All the teams race the same boat. That's the boat that'll come here, that'll be first raced here in Bermuda in later this year, in October this year. Okay? Then we have the boats that'll be raced here in Bermuda for the America's Cup race, right? That is what we call an AC-62. That's a boat where you've got a rule where all the boats are the same length, the same width, the same weight, the same wing or mast or sail proportions, right? And the way I would describe it, the same sort of power source. But you can play with the shapes within that. For example, the foils that lift the boat out of the water, they might be subtly different shapes. They might be different chord lengths, slightly different widths, slightly different shapes in terms of, the curvature in the boards. So there's some flexibility and there's a design aspect to those boats. There is no design aspect to the AC-45s. They are what we call one design, all the same.
The Bermuda Football Association today held the FA Challenge Cup semi-final draw. Chairman of the leagues and competition, Stephen Coddington, announced the draw.
Somerset Cricket Club. Dandytown All Western Star Sports Club. North Village Rams. And obviously, Flanagan's Onions Football Club.
Following the required regulatory assessment, the ad hoc electoral committee formally admitted and declared the candidates eligible for the election of office of FIFA president at the FIFA's Congress in Zurich coming on May 29th. Candidates admitted and declared are Joseph Sepp Blatter from Switzerland, H.R.H. Prince Ali bin Al Hussein from Jordan, Luis Figo from Portugal, and Michael van Praag from the Netherlands. Two members of the ad hoc electoral committee had to remove themselves as they are Swiss nationals and have been replaced. Larry Musselin, Bermuda's Football Association president and chairman of the FIFA Appeals Committee, remains with the ad hoc electoral committee, and it was agreed that he would become the new chairman of the electoral committee. The first of the series of Bermuda Professional Golf Association's Better Bowl Series, sponsored by Bacardi, got underway at the Turtle Hill Golf Course yesterday. This series will see tee times from 1 p.m. each Monday and will run until the Grey Goose World Par 3 tournament set for March 27th through to the 29th. Teams of two are made up of one PGA of Bermuda professional and one amateur with an official handicap. The tournament was won by Dwayne Pearman and Alan Bradshaw, who shot a 12-under par 42. In second place was Cornell Bean and Phil Tolbert, who shot 5-under par 49. The Bermuda Youth Sevens teams heading to Las Vegas Invitational Sevens Tournament held their final training session at the Summersfield Academy School Field last evening. The teams also took time out on Saturday to do a cleanup, which took place along Middle Road in Devonshire and Vesey Street. The Las Vegas Invitational, the largest rugby tournament in North America, will take place on February 12th through to the 15th. It will also be played alongside the U.S. Sevens International Rugby Tournament held annually in Las Vegas. The Bermuda team is as follows. The Bermuda Amateur Swimming Association has updated the short course meter records following the Best of the Best Series first meet held at the Bassa Pool on January 31st. Emma Harvey broke the 13-14 girls 200-meter butterfly record when she touched the wall in a time of 2:31.97, breaking her own record of 2:33.29, which was set on December 7th, 2014. I'm Earl Baston reporting for VSB Sports.
Looking at the weather for Wednesday, February the 11th, there will be sunny breaks with rain and showers, isolated thunder early. Winds will be southwesterly and strong, gusts to gale force varying northwesterly by evening and increasing strong to gale force, gusts to storm force. We are expecting a high near 68 and a low near 59. This weather forecast is the courtesy of the Bermuda Weather Service. Thanks for watching VSB News Online for Tuesday, February the 10th. I'm Charles Webb.